Alright, so before I start this, I'm gonna point out that I thought originally that like Dream wasn't talking about Technoblade because he was kind of already a traitor, and yeah, I don't think anyone thought he was gonna stay. But he did say in Quackity's stream that he was gonna betray them, and then he said that he wasn't going to betray them. I'm not really sure at this point, but I still don't think that's who Dream was talking about. Alright, now to actually get into what I'm supposed to be talking about. So, Dream mentioned that there was a traitor in L'Manberg, well, in Pogtopia, that it was going to betray them, or Pogtopia, for Manberg. I am so bad at talking, okay. And I'm basically gonna give my opinion on it based off overall the overarching story and like from inside. So like from the character's point of view as well as from an outside point of view looking at the story. First off, I don't think it is, or I don't think it should be Wilbur, Quackity, Fundy, Eret, or Bad Boy Halo. Bad Boy Halo because he's just not important enough. And especially when Dream said that it's like gonna be more surprising than Eret. It's just Bad's not important. Yeah, okay. For Wilbur, he kind of already is insane and wants to blow the whole entire thing to smithereens. The only way for him to be a traitor is to actually blow it up, and that's kind of already a thing that's going to happen. And if he does go on Manberg's side, that would go against everything that he's ever done. So, yeah. For both Quackity and Fundy, I'd say it shouldn't be them because they just came from Manberg's side and are also, at least Quackity is openly against blowing it up. If Fundy wanted to blow it up, like, okay, kind of weird because he wants to separate himself from Wilbur, but like, okay, you do you, Fundy. But I don't think it should be either of them because they both kind of already were traitors to somebody else, especially Fundy. He was like a traitor, not traitor, traitor, not traitor, double-crossing traitor spy thing. So, yeah, I don't think he should be a traitor. That'll be just too many directions. And then Eret already had a great redemption arc. So, yeah, no. He had a redemption arc. I don't think they should revoke that redemption arc. So that leaves our options, at least to my knowledge, down to Tommy, Tubbo, Nikki, and Sam. We'll get back to why I included Sam in that later. I don't think it should be Nikki, or, contrary to popular belief, I don't think it should be Tubbo. For Nikki, that's pretty easy. I don't think Nikki would make a good villain. And I don't think a villain arc would really fit with where she's going. She tended to be the victim in most of the scenarios. She never really did anything wrong. She stayed in Manberg, but she was openly against Schlatt. Nikki's super underrated. She did a bunch of really cool things. I think she burnt down a flag at some point. She wrote a really cool letter that was really great. She teamed up with Eret a couple of times. She's pretty cool. I think what she should do is take up the place of where old Wilbur stood instead of being traitor villain. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. I don't think, no. And then Tubbo, a lot of people think it's Tubbo, and I've seen a lot of videos on it's Tubbo, or this is a cool AU for Tubbo, and I just look at them and I'm just like, while it's cool in the moment, it doesn't work overall. It wouldn't fit his character very well, and it would be going completely backwards in character development because he originally kind of was a traitor when you think about it. He did a thing similar to Eret where he was trapped in, or similar to Eret and Quackity, I suppose, where he was like trapped with Schlatt and then got out of there. Him to go back in would be regression in character development. Now there is the option I've seen a video on where he burns the whole place to the ground because it was inevitable that it would happen. While I think this could be interesting, we've already seen this happen. Wilbur would have the exact same arc as that. This was the only option to burn it all. That's like almost word for word what Wilbur said. It just be kinda, it feels, I don't know, if they want it to be burned to the ground, then just have Wilbur do it. To have somebody else come and do it doesn't make much sense. It's better than having Wilbur doing it, sure, and some ways, I suppose. It could give character development or something to other people, but with the fact that it would be regression and character development, it just doesn't make much sense. It makes so much more sense to just have Wilbur blow it up if they want it to be exploded, but I don't think that's a good direction to take this, although it would be interesting. It would be very interesting. But yeah, I don't think it's Tubbo. Especially just, again, it doesn't fit his character. Like, I don't think that's the direction his character development should go in. It could be, but I don't think it works. So that leaves, if it's not Nikki or Tubbo, then that leaves our options down to Sam and Tommy and one more option. For Sam, there's a lot of sus. There's a lot of sus on Sam. Like, if this was Among Us, I would be very, very sus of Sam. Okay, very sus. He's oddly nice to Tommy, which I don't know if that's normal for Sam. I don't watch his streams, but the fact that it's just really weird. The fact that, like, Tommy's like, hey, you got this thing? And he's like, yeah, I got it. And then Tommy's just like, oh, by the way, this is what my plans are. And, like, this is what's happening. And, like, Tommy trusts him a lot. But then again, he's not that important. I don't think his betrayal would be more surprising than Eric's. I mean, it could be, but I don't think it would. Maybe just as, but definitely not more. Eric's betrayal was pretty surprising. Then again, Dream could easily be over-exaggerating and stuff, so I don't know. It could be Sam. It would give Manberg a lot of leverage if it was Sam. But I don't know. Again, I don't know Sam's character that much, so it could totally not fit in his character. I don't know. I haven't watched, like, any of the streams. I regret that. I probably should have done that before making this, but it's too late now. Alright, and here's if Tommy was the traitor. In my opinion, this is one of the, if not the most... It's the best one, in my opinion. Of course, I think the best option would be there is no traitor, but for Tommy, if he was it, he would follow in Wilbur's footsteps, but not exactly. Because Tommy is always taken after Wilbur, and it would make perfect sense for him to think, well, if Wilbur's doing this, then I should probably be doing it too. It would make sense. He's already talked against that. It would kind of fall where Tubbo did in some ways. It would be really weird. I don't know how to explain it, but I want him to follow where Wilbur went, but differently. But genuinely be like, that direction. Either that, or Dream offered him presidency from the member, like Wilbur suggested when Quackity, and Fundy were talking about it. He was offered presidency and took it up. It would give other people, other characters, massive character development. For example, Tubbo. Nikki would probably get character development. Heck, Wilbur could get character development from this. A lot of people would get character development from this. But the massive cons here are Tommy would be betraying L'Manberg, which is highly unlikely with how Tommy has acted for the last, I don't even know how long. It would be really weird. And also would be betraying Tubbo, which are the two things that have been there since the beginning, were Tommy and Tubbo, and Tommy's loyalty to L'Manberg. Tommy and Tubbo being there for longer. And his loyalty would be completely gone. Like, completely. But there is one solution to this, because, like, in my opinion, there should be a thing that's been there from the beginning to the end. There should be one consistent factor. You shouldn't completely derail the storyline and remove everything. There should be at least one thing that's consistent. And so to fix that problem, you could just have it be both Tommy and Tubbo, which is the third option, where it's both of them. And also one of my favorites. I like this option. Because not only would everyone get what they want with Tubbo Traitor, but it would also combine with the awesome character development that Tommy and Tubbo both get, as well as Wilbur and everyone else from Pogtopia, and maybe Manberg as well. And that would remain. Like, the loyalty to each other would remain, and that's been, like, the one thing since the very beginning. There is nothing before these two and these two storyline. It's just the two of them. They've always stuck together. And both of them would switch sides. And they can protect each other, they can protect what's left of Manberg, I suppose, if they want to. They could get the presidency if Tommy was offered it. although it shouldn't be without good reason. Obviously, like everything else, there has to be a good reason for it. I think, personally, I think that Tommy should be the one to suggest it, and Tubbo should be the one to accept it. Now, with both of them being a traitor, there's two directions you can take this. Either A, you can take it in the direction of Tubbo trying to bring Tommy back, kind of like Tommy tried to do with Wilbur, and that can either work or fail. Of course, if it fails, the two of them might have to split up again, and I don't think that's a good option. I don't think the two of them should be separated, unless it's for Tommy's betrayal, but even then, I'd prefer them to stick together, because, again, that gives that one thing common thread since the beginning. However, Tubbo's problems do still apply with him going backwards in character development, which is why I personally think Tommy should be the one to take the charge again, because then Tubbo doesn't really have to go backwards in character development. He's doing it with Tommy this time. It's different. Anyway, this video has been way too long so far, so that's a wrap. Of course, Dream could just be lying completely, which is totally in Dream's character. He might be completely lying. This could all be false. You never know, but just in case it's not, I am suspicious of Tommy and Sam. Just those two. I'm not that suspicious of Tubbo. I mean, I'm kind of suspicious of Tubbo. I'm not suspicious of Nikki, really. And then, like, everyone else I'm not sus of at all. Also, I didn't cover anybody else, really, because I didn't feel the need to. For example, like, George or something. George is gonna be on Dream's side. I don't see... Yeah, okay. Anyway, this is like 11 minutes long. Actually, almost 12 minutes. So, I'm gonna stop now. Yeah. If you have different opinions, I will argue with you in the comments. Or not, I don't know. It depends on if I find anything to argue with you with. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Alright, have a good day or something. Bye.